It's everybody's favorite time. We're going to start talking about woodworking equipment, specifically used versus new equipment. That little DeWalt contractor saw down there, I paid $350 for, and it worked great for a long time. I say worked great, it still works, it runs, it's perfectly fine. I just outgrew the capabilities of that saw, and that's why I went with this. This is the second table saw that I have ever owned, and going from that DeWalt saw down there to this, it's a completely different animal. It's a night and day difference of the power and the accuracy. I made tons of cutting boards and coat racks, key racks, you name it, I made it with that little DeWalt saw. I even made a queen size bed with it. And that was really pushing what that saw was capable of. It did not like doing it. But after that, I realized that since I wanted to do woodworking full time and actually have a go at this, I needed something bigger. And this is me right out of high school, and I didn't have a ton of money. So, a new saw like this, a comparable saw like this that was new, was not in the cards. I mean, Grizzly was going to be the route that I went, and there's nothing wrong with Grizzly. I have other Grizzly equipment. But I didn't feel like spending $1,500 at the time. That same saw I'm talking about now, it's the Grizzly hybrid saw. It was like $1,000. I think it's $1,800 now. Doesn't matter. Anyways, I didn't have that type of money, and I'm sure most of y'all don't either. Because there's one thing I know about us woodworkers: we pinch pennies in the most stupid ways possible. So, if you don't mind a used or older piece of equipment that may need work, this saw is a great example of that. This is about a mid 90s era saw, so it's about 30 years old. The guy that owned it before me bought it new and used the heck out of it. And he actually broke the trunnion that tilts the blade from 90 degrees to 45. And you might be wondering how in the world I fixed that. Well, I actually found a trunnion for sale and I replaced it. And I got this saw here for $300. And then about another 50 or so for the trunnion and a new belt. And it took me a day and a half to completely I shouldn't say rebuild. I didn't put bearings or anything on the inside. But I did go through and clean up all the internals and, like I said, put a new trunnion in and put a new belt on and completely transform the inside of the saw. And it has been great to me ever since. I've never had to do anything to it except clean the cabinet out a few times because dust collection, I mean, that's mostly just my dust collection. It's not very good, at least for the table saw. So the only thing I've had to do is clean the cabinet out a few times and make a few new inserts for the tabletop up there. You can see I have a wooden insert in the table, and I have two more hanging up right there with my miter gauge. But if you're going to look at an older piece of equipment, I strongly recommend sticking to two brands, specifically for table saws in this instance. Look at Delta and Powermatic. Try to find the Delta Unisaw or Powermatic Model 66. Those are two of the most common and most bulletproof saws that were ever made. You can find them with a dual voltage motor, just like this saw right here. This is a dual voltage 1 3/4 horse motor. Right now it's wired for 110 because it's sitting off in the middle of the floor in my shop, and I have it plugged up over here. So it can be wired for 220. That's what the dual voltage stands for. So you can find them with that 1 3/4 horse dual voltage. I believe you can find them with a 3 horse and a 5 horse as well. That's all the most common motor sizes, and To be honest, for most people, a 1 3/4 horse is plenty. You'll never really outgrow that type of power unless you get into production work. So, if you don't mind buying something that you may have to tinker with occasionally, or at the very least, like this, I've had this for over 5 years now, and the only thing I ever had to do to it was within the first 2 days I bought it because I knew it was broken and it needed to be fixed. So, if you have a little bit of skills and some tools and time to put into something, don't look over these old tools. You can find really good deals and save a ton of money. Something comparable from Grizzly is like $1,500 to $1,800. Powermatic, you're looking at over $2,000. And if you go with something like SawStop, you're looking well over $2,500 to $3,000 for something very similar to this. So, is new equipment absolutely necessary? No. Is it nice? Yeah. I've got new equipment. Not very much new equipment, but new equipment is nice. It has a lot of creature comforts that this doesn't have. So, when you're shopping for your next piece, what I'm trying to say is don't overlook the old stuff. Super high quality, really well built, and it will last for a long time. This isn't the oldest piece I have. Like I said, this is about 30 years old, but I have some stuff that's 50 and 60 years old. So don't overlook the old stuff. Sometimes it is better. I'll catch y'all guys next time.